Good afternoon, you guys. This is when I say I deleted so many videos of trying to do this part 3 to this video, and this is, I wouldn't say the calm after the storm, but even when I was telling y'all, like, I didn't think that God would have me do a testimony on stuff, even though already was talking like little here and there bits and pieces. I didn't think he would let me talk about a testimony that I was already going through. So, clean face, I put something on my lips. I did do my due diligence to go ahead and kind of have like a drawn out of what I want to talk about, because I don't want to jump around, and I was jumping around in the other videos, and it was like before I went to work and stuff like that, so y'all would see like the before I went to work type of thing. But I didn't want to like jump around. I'm talking about spiritual warfare here, and then like I'm talking about like family stuff here, and all of this, even though it correlates with each other, I wanted to like have like a drawn out. I would love to have just like a drawn out video organized with everything I want to talk about. So let's get into that, because that lady already tried to call me into work, and it's so funny because she tried to call me into work, and I was like, when she did something, and it's just like time and time she proves to me that she is to not be trusted. But she did like, let's talk about this just for the starts, like the start of this video. um she she tried to call me into work, and she was like, I don't know if the woman is sick or whatever, the one that was caught red-handed doing something to me and they didn't do nothing. I don't know if she's sick or not, or whatever, has to be. But most of the time, I don't take those hours because, for one, I work one double day. The one who was caught red handed, got cut down, but I only work one double day. She ended up, instead of, it was supposed to be to where I work mornings. I work nights. She works mornings. And then mornings are easy. Mornings are easier. Mornings are slow, mellow. You don't get to do, there's not too many orders unless, you get a catering here or there and stuff like that. And you may get like companies asking for like a big order here or there, which is like, hey, like it's been slow. Come on, give me the big order. But mornings are easy. I got nights. She put me on only night shifts, except for Sunday. Only night shifts. And I don't have a car. I take Ubers. And I don't trust nobody to take me home that works there, because they all have gossiped and said something about me and thought it was funny. So guess what? I would rather get on foot patrol and walk home, which I thank God that it's not super, super, super far, than to let any of them, take me home or drop me off and stuff like that. Because I don't trust you. Y'all all have had something to say instead of being like, man, leave her alone. So in my mind, I shouldn't trust you in my mind. And I have trusted, a few before, but it's just like, y'all show me time and time again that I shouldn't really trust you to, I'd rather walk. That's just me, and that's just my mindset of I'd rather walk. So, yeah, she was like, I'll come get you. I don't want you nowhere near my house. Like, I'd rather you not be nowhere near my house. She was like, I'll come get you and stuff like that. I don't know how sick or what she was feeling and stuff like that. But normally I don't answer my phone. Cause she even asked me about Saturday of last week, because Saturday the week after I took Easter off. Now I understand if the person took a day off and then she's like, hey, this person, asked for their day off and stuff like that, and she put me on schedule. If I ain't put on schedule, I don't take hours on my weekend off. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time they get that, they end up having that sick day and then also having their days off also. I'm not money hungry to where it's just like, yeah, I'm about to get this money and stuff like that. Like, God has blessed me to be like, I am okay. Like, I just paid all my bills. Like, I am okay. And I don't need to be like money hungry and be like, yeah, let me go ahead and take this day. Because, like, I took Easter off for a reason. Because I want to be with God and I want to sit with God and I wanted to chill. Like, I don't want that day. Even though they said it was slow and stuff like that. Of course, because it's Easter. And everybody has like Easter egg hunts and, Easter bunnies and activities for the kids. Everybody probably had something going on downtown and all that. I was at home. So, and the thing that makes me, and this comes back to bite you, for any managers out there, this will come back to bite you, because I used to work a lot. I used to take those days. And before she was caught red-handed doing something to me, but I used to take those days, and even if she would call me, and be like, hey, can you take this day and stuff like that? I'd be like, that's extra money. I can buy some perfume. I can, buy some clothes. I can buy my, keep my nails up and stuff like that. So, that's extra money in my pocket. So I can, do something with that little extra that, or I can buy food. Because, like, I spend, like, when it comes to me buying out, I spend the money, like, on food. Like, I really do. Like, you can't catch me buying a lot of shoes or clothes. You can, my nails and my perfumes, of course, but mostly my nails and stuff. That's where my money goes. So you can catch me buying that type of stuff, but most of it, like when it comes to like high end stuff, I'm either at the movies or I'm buying food. 30, 40. The highest was my birthday, because that was like $60, and I was like, like, why? But um what else? But she, like, when I was working, when it was, I wouldn't even say kumbaya, but when I knew to watch my back with them, um she would miss a day, and then I end up working the day, and then the next week, instead of me working my normal hours, because like most of the time we have like normal weekdays when it's just like I've been there for so long, she would take like, they would, even the managers would be the owners would look at me like, why you not working on you normally here on this Friday, why you not working? I don't know, they gave it to her or whatever, she gave it to her, because she gives the days. Like, I don't be sick or anything, but the next week she would give her the hours that was for me. Like, I didn't need my money. She would give her the hours because I done worked her day that she called out on. So she would take my hours for her, and she would take my hours and give it to her, and I'd just be like, me being dumb, I would just be like, I don't know why she gave it, but then I figured it out. I was like, she's giving her my hours, like there's a hierarchy. She's giving her my hours the next week, and then I'm just off. Like, I don't need the money. Like, I don't, like, I worked her days. I worked her day for her, and it was like doing her a favor when all she had to do was, instead of taking my day, just switch days with me. So now she texting me like, hey, you know, this person is calling out and stuff like that. She'll switch days with you. Now you want to do it the right way, when a couple months ago, last year, I would take her day when she called out sick, work the day, and then the next week you'll take my hours and give it to her. Cause all she had to do was ask. We was cordial enough before she got caught red-handed, cordial enough for her to ask me, hey, can you switch days with me? Like, I'm feeling sick, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But now I want to do it the right way and follow protocol. And I said no. I was like, I need to do my hair. I wanted to film this video, and tomorrow I'm getting groceries in. Most of the time, the other person takes her hours. I don't take her hours on my days off because of managers. Do not do that. Just ask the person. Don't show favoritism and like it's a hierarchy, and then the next week you taking somebody else's hours to give that person their hours back. That's wrong. She should have asked months ago, last year, like, hey, like, this person is calling out sick. Do you want to switch days with them? When my daddy died, the only day that I was gonna miss was, I think I was just gonna miss the Saturday. It was a lot of people. I was still hosting then. I was just gonna miss the Saturday, and I think I swapped days. I swapped days for a Tuesday because we was gonna go and clean out the house, but I swapped days, so that was fine. Like, they swapped days with me and stuff like that. So it honestly, cause like I lost him on a Monday, and I went to work in my feelings. And I swapped Tuesday, but I swapped Tuesday for a weekend or something like that. And, I just ended up not even going. They ended up cleaning the house and everything by themselves, which was fine and stuff like that, because I didn't really want nothing of daddy's. So that was fine. Like, I kind of stayed out of it. The funeral things, like, I gave like my last to try to move his body to a different funeral home and stuff like that, and that was kind of crazy. And so it was kind of like, but yeah, like, it's not hard to swap days with somebody instead of just being like having a hierarchy to where you asking someone to come in and trying to be nice. The person takes the day, and then the next week the person's Friday is gone. The person's Thursday is gone. The person's weekend is gone. Like, one of the days that they work during the weekend is gone. So I said no. But anyway, let's get into this video. Let's start. Let's start with what I wanted to talk about. So, yes. Let's talk about like warfare and like people who, like, I want to start with like the warfare, because like March, I had a lot of warfare going on, a lot of different things that the devil was throwing at me, to where it's just like physically, like, even like with just like, they say you can, it's physically, basically, like with like, phones and stuff like that, you can get like a lot of spam calls, a lot of different things, and I was showing, I forgot when I was showing Instagram, like it was stuff breaking in my house. I think that was around February. So it was like stuff breaking in my house and stuff like that. They say that's a hex. I don't know. They said that's a hex if someone's hexing you, if glass is breaking in your house. So I don't know. But I know that wine glass had fell, and then my coffee mug with like the snowflakes that I had got from, I think I had got that from TJ Maxx, I want to say. TJ Maxx or something like that. That broke, that fell, and the handle came off. And I was showing people that, I was like, well, this is the second one. And I was like, the devil is mad, the devil is busy. Because you have to stay covered. And at that time, there was, I was trying to stay away from sin, trying to, stay away from sin, stay away from all these other things and stuff like that. So I was like, you know, I'm good. Like, me and God, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna war. So after all the warfare, I still feel like I'm warring because my husband hasn't came. My promises of, different things hasn't came, and I still feel like I'm warring. I still feel like, every day, I'm praying about something. Every day I am I am just trying to come into terms that this is a thing. This is a thing that people who are close to God, people who are in purpose, people who are in calling, people who just are walking with God go through. Like, it's a thing, and I am just fighting it out. I'm fighting it out. So my husband still hasn't came. So I'm fighting out that situation, praying against delay, praying against, interferences, and praying that, God's will is done in his life, and God is, you know, in control over just like what he's going through on his end, and I'm staying in, like, God is in control of what I'm doing, and trying to find things to do while I am in the process of him coming and him showing up and stuff like that. So, and that's also one of the reasons why I feel like I didn't want to. She was like, she can switch a day with you. Yeah, I'm not switching a day. I'm not switching a day because I don't know the day or the hour. When that man is coming, I don't know the day or the hour. I told y'all that's how I talk. That's how I talk about my husband, but I don't know the day or hour when he gonna come. So I'm worrying for me and my husband. I'm worrying for just stuff I'm going through and stuff he's going through. And I don't know what he's going through. I don't know, like, people who have communication with their husband but still in separation, like, y'all have conversation to where it's just like, I'm going through this, or y'all just talk about everyday life, and it's kind of like, okay, bye. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm more leaned on, like, with being distant, with being not in communication. I'm more leaned on and tapped into the Holy Spirit, and have to tap into what God is telling me that my husband is going through, or what God is telling me with, just how to pray for him, because I don't know what he's going through. He has moments, he has moments to where it's like in and out. So I don't know what he's going through, and I still try to fight through it and show up because I know he's watching me. So it's just like, okay, like, if he's, I know he's watching me. So it's just like, okay, Lord, what's she going through? What is she going, like, I haven't seen her. She ain't been on here. Like, what she got going on? So I try to, and honestly, I try to stay on my post. I try to stay in position. I do not want to, like, it's so funny because I've been putting my oil on my forehead. Like, I try to put it on there every day. And it's just like, I'm trying to stay positioned. I'm trying to be like one of the one of the wise wives who had her oil burning and had extra oil for her lamp. Like, I'm trying to be in that mindset and be in that prepared state to where it's just like whenever God says go, it's a go. So I'm trying to stay covered. I done covered all that. Okay, period. So, and also, like, I'm dealing with people. At first, it's just like people who are, I somewhat know. And I was telling Instagram, I was like, it's people who, someone knows my name and stuff like that, coworkers and all of this. Now, like this year, I was dealing with people who had spirits behind them. Like, I seen a man sat down, couldn't stay still, fidgeting, agitated, irritated. Like, I'm about to cast his demon out of him. Like, the demon was just sitting, like, I shouldn't say demon. The person was just sitting there and he was fidgeting, and I'm looking like, he okay? Like, sis, he is okay? Like, what's wrong with him? He was just like, yeah. And he was like, she's this and she's that and she's doing this. And I'm looking like, are you good? I'm sitting there staring at him. And that's why most of the time, if y'all catch me out, most of the time I'm not standing there by where I'm supposed to be. Cause these people will go there with you. These people with spirits. He was fidgeting, like, and it's like you can tell, like, he had a spirit on him. But like I said, like I keep saying on Instagram, people who do not have spiritual discernment and people who don't have their spiritual eyes open cannot see the spirit in the natural. They just feel like, oh, well, something wrong with him. But yeah, like, I see her looking at him and he feel threatened by her, so she must be the problem. And it's like, no, like, I am not the problem. I haven't did nothing to him. I hadn't said nothing to that man. Like, he was just sitting there on his, like, with his family. Like, I think it was him and his wife and like a kid or something like that. And he was just fidgeting and agitated and all this. And I'm looking like, I said, Lord, in my head, I said, Lord, I'm not trying to get the demon out of him. I said, I don't want nothing to do with the demon that he got in him. Have nothing, like, he can keep that. His wife can deal with that. Like, I don't, like, and it's funny because people be like, you agitate their demons. They don't, like, their demons don't like you. And, and for people who want to keep the demons in them, and for people who like their demons and like the spirits of lust, perversion, lying and gossiping, like all of these different spirits and stuff like that, people who want to keep the demons that are attached to that, like, Jezebel is real. I seen Jezebel on somebody. That's the first spirit I seen on somebody. And I started recognizing spirits. That's when I started in 2022. No, yeah, in 2022. I want to say it was 2023. 2022, late 2022 into 2023, because after 2023, I completely left like that, because, like, I was like, this music is trash. Like, I'm trying to wean out, like, different music, different artists and all of this, and I'm still working on it. Like, I don't know who, like, God be putting songs in my head, and I know most people be like, that's the devil putting it, but I'm actually, it be, like, referencing, like, my husband and stuff like that. So sometimes God will give you a song and it kind of reference, like, how your husband is feeling. So I do try to, avoid some, it don't be all the time, like, and it just depends on who you done heard. Sometimes you can just hear something on the radio. Like, in a place that I work, I hear like songs all the time and stuff like that. But I do love older music. I try to stay away from the I sung a lot of Cardi back in the day. So like Cardi's and the Megans and the you know uh the rappers, all of these people, like I'm for sure wasn't much of a rap fan anyways. So I know songs, but then it's just like, yeah, and then these little songs, dance songs, you gotta watch out because they be talking like perversion. They'll give you a perversion spirit real quick. So you have to be uh watchful of that. But like people with spirits is real. Like you you into you like you upset their demons. You can see their demons sometimes. Like I cannot imagine having sight of the spirit, the sight of the spirit. What I'm trying to say, Lord, seeing in the spirit but in the natural, so you seeing the demons like behind them or sitting next to them or holding their hand and stuff. I cannot imagine. I'm sure some people have that, and I cannot imagine seeing in the spiritual world in the natural. Like you in the natural, but you seeing like people with the spirit. Like I can tell, like you can see like that man was irritated and he was anxious and he had anxiety. So I knew like, yeah, like I can tell. And he went and snitched it. And it was just like, oh well, like God is gonna like I said, none of the managers, none of the other people protecting you. I said this on Instagram. God is going to protect you. God is going to reveal all. Because I ain't say nothing to them. And that's the funniest part. She looking at me and irritate my, like, I'm like, I ain't trying to get the demon out of you. I'm like, that man must got some spirits on him. Like, I ain't trying to get the demon out of you. I'm not trying to cast it out. Trust me, I'm not trying to cast the demon out of you, sir. Just go eat your food. But yeah, so if the managers and all these different people that you are around or surrounded by, could be family members too, because family members will take side with the demon. Well, let me stop saying demon, because we don't well, yeah, basically they'll take side with the demon. The demon will go snitch and say like, oh, like this person is bothering me and this person did this and this person, and they can be lying. They can be lying on your name. And family members will take sides. Family members will be like, oh yeah, she did that, he did that, or I think they did, and then they'll come out later on like, hey, like that wasn't even true. That person was lying the whole time. Once the demon, is either gone or somebody else be like, no, that's not true. That ain't even right. That ain't even right. So let's get into my next topic, life after war. Y'all, this is a good one. Okay. So I'm having to stop and start the videos over because I'm taking this footage off and I want to be able to put it on my computer without any problems, without any hiccups. So, life after war. Someone said, I think I was telling on Instagram, someone said, who are you? Who are you after you done fought your fight? Excuse me. After you done fought your fight and the promises, like after you done war in the spirit and you done came out and you know how to fight your sin, you know your weaknesses, you know like where you weak at and how the devil use different people to come at you, like the generational stuff that you have to fix and have to break off yourself. So after you learn that and after you're actively doing it, it may take some ups and downs, some falls and stuff, but after you actively doing that, who are you? And then I had to look at it like, after my divorce, after the separation, and I was like, I don't really like her. Like, that ain't the person that, I was learning how to be single. And I was telling y'all, I was learning how to be single, working factory and stuff like that. It was actually the first job that I ever got down here. I started working that factory again, thinking like, oh, it's going to be the same. That factory was completely different. Completely different going back there after so many years. But I'm still thankful that job started to show me the spirits in people and how people lie and how people will scandalize your name and put stuff on you. And I didn't think it would happen with this second job. I didn't think like it would happen with the second one, but God was revealing, like, God used what I was going through spiritually and just me in general of like, who is she, and da 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 da, people trying to figure out who the person is just because you quiet and stay to yourself. And it's just like, sometimes you just need to mind your business and let the person stay to themselves and work and go home and do what they need to do and go home. Stop trying to put stuff on this person that is not true. Because and I was telling, like, even with connecting to people on Instagram, I was like, even connecting to people who do stuff and be like, oh, like, they'll try to, like, say someone goes in a store, and because like I've been through this. Say like I've been in a store with like teenagers, like when I was a teenager and stuff like that, and they hit the stuff off the aisles. They hit the stuff off the aisles, and you guilty by association. But it's just like, don't put that on me, because I'm gonna snitch all day, every day. Because like, you're not finna get me in trouble. Like, come on now, like, and that's why I stay, like, I don't like being, like, that's why you have to figure out who people is and stuff like that. But my eyes was open after 2025. My eyes was open, like, of how people are. Like, you do this in real life. Like, why are you sitting, like, you really up here doing, like, y'all, like, when I say people be having some spirits on them, people be having some spirits on them. But who am I after I done did all the warring, after I learned the devil's tactics of how he gets me, after I learned the weakness, after I learned to come out of it? Who am I? And I had to go back to, like, after, like, the factory stage of me being single and me living on my own and stuff like that, still not making the best decisions, because I'm like, Lord, I don't really want to be, like, I'm like, Lord, you hate divorce and da 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 da. I know you told me not to be with this person at the same. God did not approve of that man, and that's the thing. Is that a bird? That's the thing. God did not approve of that man. Hey, I don't need you coming down the pipe, bird. For sure, don't need to be coming in here. I need to get something to stop that little dryer thing up. Cause look, I go through a lot already with this house. You can hear them at the, like, you know how vent, like the dryer vents are at the top. Sometimes they go to the bottom of, like, the house and stuff like that, but since I'm in a duplex, it kind of goes up, and I can hear, like, the birds on top of the roof and stuff, probably trying to make a nest. Y'all know it's springtime, but distractions. Distractions. I feel like everybody video who be trying to tell something or tell a testimony gets distractions like that. But but yeah, so being connected to who you connected to is important. And I was telling Instagram that because, like, I'm not finna be connected to someone who's mean, rude, doing stuff illegal, just like just like stuff you don't have to do, and you looking at them like, is this something you do all the time? Like, is this like, you sure you doing, like, being connected to people, it can get you messed up, and then you be guilty by associating, and it's like, don't put me and this person together in the same category, because I'm not like that. I'm not like this person. But I put on here, how do I feel coming through so much warfare? Starting from a kid and knowing how the devil was connecting, like, attacking me when it comes to, like, just things in the relationship, and things with relationships and stuff like that, especially coming into, like, my young adult age, young adult, I guess you could say young adult age. I would say young adult is like 20s, but like in the teen, like adult to young adult age, let's say that. Like how he was attacking that even from a child, and it started from a child, from attacking that and tying me up for years, and me finally breaking that off, breaking those, those covenants and things that I didn't even know that needed to be broken off from something that happened when I didn't, understand what was happening, or I didn't know. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know, like, if it should have been happening. Well, I didn't know how to come about physically breaking it off before I got into my young adult stage of life. So it's just like coming through all of that and now trying to get it right in my 30s, and finally understanding, like, hey, this is where you weak at. This is where the devil is attacking you, and this is the devil is bringing his demons in people form to stop you and delay you, and to stop you from getting to where I want you to be. So I had to recognize that, and I feel a new person. So after me warring, and after me learning that, and after me finally, being obedient to God, and knowing his Bible, and knowing his word, and doing what the word says. Now, you can know the Bible, and you can know what the word says, but you cannot be putting it in effect in certain aspects in your life, and that's still being disobedient. And I can say I was being disobedient because I had already prayed when coming into the divorce, like, hey, Lord, I give my relationships over to you. And I feel like that's why I haven't connected to nobody, like, friendship wise, because it's just like, I was already seeing, like, I can't really trust nobody. And I really didn't, talk to anybody about everything that I went through in the marriage. So it's just like, I didn't talk to anybody about the stuff that I went through. And I don't know if it harmed me more than, like, I just had to cut off people because they wouldn't listen to, like, instead of the spiritual side of things, hey, like, please just disconnect, and disconnect, and let me be. Don't let this person ask about me. Don't let this person do this. Don't let this person do that, because it's not coming from, like, how shit, like, what's that song? I gotta find the song. I knew it. I was like, it's Marcus Houston. So it's Marcus Houston Circles. And it's like, I drove past your house the other day. I didn't even mean to go. I drove the wrong way, which is a lie. You meant to go over there. So it's just like, I had to be like, hey, disconnect yourselves. No association. Cut it off. Clip it. And, that's when, you don't tell, what I've been going through, who I'm with, or who I moved on to, what house I'm in, or where I'm at. Like, do not tell what I got going on to the op. To the op. Do not tell what I got going on, where I'm at, what I'm doing to the op. Because when I'm doing videos like this, or when I'm on Instagram, I'm not telling too much. I'm not telling too much. So it's just like, the person that I was, like, after, the person that I was afterwards, and I haven't ate nothing all day, y'all. It's 5:12. The person that I was after the, before the warfare is not a person I'll go back to, or, I feel new. I feel like I know who I am in Christ. I was like, she wasn't connected to God as much as she should. She wasn't, walking the way she should have been walking, and it was just these certain things that she had to surrender and to give up to be able to know what God had wanted for her and what God had planned for her. And yeah, so me, how I feel coming through the warfare, and how I feel, after the warfare, I feel good. The person before, she probably she ain't gonna be seen. She's not gonna be seen, because I have a totally, I'm trying to hit them. Okay, I have a totally different mindset. I have a totally different spiritual life. I have a totally different view, and God has given me that. I had spent a long time with God, and He like, you get it right. You get it right this time. And He also told me, like, hey, what I have for you is not something, because I was looking at it like, as like, not trying to, I was looking at it like I didn't deserve, like, I wanted these characteristics of, especially when it comes to, like, relationships with a partner. I wanted these characteristics of a person and stuff like that. And, God had to tell me, like, these are not characteristics. And basically, there's some of the fruit. These are not characteristics that, is so far-fetched. These are not characteristics that you shouldn't look for. Like, don't settle for just anything. I had to learn that in 2024. Yeah, like, I had to learn that was it 2024? I think it was either 2025. I had to learn that in 2025. Don't settle for anything. And God was moving me out of these mindsets of, like, what this person is offering or what this person is showing you is okay. And it wasn't even something that was remotely connected to God. So me, after the warfare, after, going through everything and all of that, you know, I can't go back. I cannot go back to her who was the person in 2023, because honestly my leg was broken in 2023, but the person who was in 2023, I can't even go back from last year, because I have grown so much from last year. And that was why God gave me the dream in December, about my husband showing me though. And I think He was still showing me, like, stuff about my husband also. And I was like, okay, Lord, you gave me a prayer point for him. And, I'm okay with being patient with him. And we going to get to that. He coming up soon. I'm okay with, being patient and, waiting on your perfect time, on your perfect your perfect timing and stuff like that. Now, who am I after the warfare? I don't know. I don't know. What personality traits or what changed other than spiritually growing with God, other than knowing who I am in God. you know who am I, after the warfare, because it changed my life. Like, um it's been a few years, a lot of tears shedded, a lot of begging people to treat me the right way, and getting treated just wrong and stuff like that. And that's why I posted that post of you know you you still having these things to where you are feeling like the feels of people fumbling you and stuff like that, but they fumbled you for like a reason. And it was showing you their heart posture. It was showing God their heart posture, and they were supposed to discern how to hold your heart. They were supposed to discern how to, be in your life, no matter if it's a friend, family, relationship, co-workers. All of these people were supposed to show how to carry your heart, how to have integrity, how to have morals, and they didn't show that. So, I'm different. Like, I'm changed. Like, I'm a new person. Like, I'm a new person, and I thank God for teaching me how to stand on on scripture, and stand on my standards, especially because my standards of someone coming in and loving me, someone coming in and not trying to take me down and putting a ring on my finger, someone coming in and being patient, someone coming in and understanding like where I'm at, someone coming in and we actually molding each other to go higher and go, higher in whatever God is calling us to do, and whatever, thing we're assigned to do in this life that, God has given us, God is, still having us in. So, I thank God for, just, showing me, showing me the person that he already had created, that he knew that I would turn out to be. But he had to push me, and I had to get slapped and put in time out, and a lot of things had to happen for me to understand, like, hey, you need to break this off of your generation. Hey, you need to stop this. Hey, this is a weakness of yours. Hey, I need you to recognize this cycle, and I need you to stop this cycle. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but I thank God that he is this air coming on? I thank God I cut it up so it don't come on. I thank God that he showed me who I was as a kid. Like, the kid version of me, telling God like, hey, Lord, I never want to and God, those prayers of me being a kid, like, I always didn't want to be nobody's baby mama. I always didn't want to be tied down to a man that's disrespectful, or, just out here doing any kind of thing and just in the wrong. And, you know, he made sure that I stayed on them standards and remembered those standards from like a child. Like, hey, like, I preserved you for a reason. Like, you was preserved for a reason. Yeah. And then I put on here, what am I looking forward to? I know there's, whenever my husband gets here, whenever God blesses me with, all these things I've been asking him for, and these things that I already knew that I was, was coming to pass, and all these different things, I know that there's still going to be some spiritual warfare. There's like, and I seen a post to where he was saying like my wife, like coming up to be married, my wife was going through difficult physical warfare than he was going through. And I think he was saying she was going through like physical stuff and he was going through like just other different like spiritual warfares. So I'm sure I'm gonna have to deal with, just different spiritual warfares that will come coming up to my husband coming. And I've been seeing a lot of rings and I've been seeing a lot of different things. So I'm like, I don't know the day or the hour. I'm not giving up no shifts. I'm not giving up nothing. I I don't know when he's coming, but he's coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and I know that God is not going to let anyone stop that. And I thank God that I am centered in him to where it's just like if my husband is like, going through something spiritually, or, he's having someone being like, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. And I'm like, hey, let's pray about it. Like, as soon as we come together, it's like, hey, let's pray about it. Like, you ain't got to argue. You ain't got to raise your breath. You ain't got to raise your blood pressure. Let's pray about it. Let's go get some ice cream or something. And let's chill. Like, let's talk if you need to talk, or just, or I'm gonna let you, hey, we can go do what this, and then we can pray about it. We can go do this, get your mind off of it, and then you do whatever that helps you calm down. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's vice versa, that one person would be in a situation, God will have one person be like the strong standing in a situation, and the other one is like, hey, like this person did this and this person said this, and I'm just upset about it, like, or this person is, this is going wrong, and like I'm trying to get this done, and like it's not coming to pass, and this is messed up with this, and I'm trying to write this or trying to do that, and one person will have that strong structure to be push the other person to keep going, and the other one will have vice versa. It'll be vice versa, to where, and that's the reason why God is putting so many people together, and so many people are coming together, because you are there for one another. You're gonna be there for one another. You're gonna be able to help each other stand. So, I look forward. This is what I actually look forward into. I'm gonna talk about 2 more minutes. I look forward to. I look forward to having like the family, the kids, the husband. But I look forward to a garden. Raised flower beds, like the little baby boy, like her little garden situation that she had going up, like, and then a little place that I can sit back and read to the kids, or just have the kids not mess with me, and talk with my friends and stuff like that, because I know my husband gonna have his little space. Like, that's what I look forward to, like little backyard things where, like, I can sit back there, look at my plants and read something, or type something, or, edit something. And, my kids can be playing in the water, or playing, or reading with me, or, just. Okay. My husband, and we got, let me show y'all. We got 2 more. My husband, what can I say? Like, I don't talk about him much. I don't say much about him. Like I say, I told on Instagram, I'm protective. Like, I don't talk about him a lot. It is so funny because he throws stuff at me because he knows I'm watching him. He throws stuff at me. And it's just like, sir, like, of course I miss you. Of course I want to have communication with you. Of course I want you to, like, I want to see you. Like, of course I want you to close this distance in. And it's just like, I have done mostly all that I can do, other than like I ain't gonna say that, but I done did everything that I can do, and I'm hungry, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but I done did everything that I can do. And I'm just waiting patiently. I'm trying to wait patiently, but when I say it has gotten to me this last, and I told y'all I've been seeing rings and stuff like that. It has gotten to me this couple weeks, this last week, because I'm like, where is he? Like, Lord, where is he? Like, what is he doing? Like, like I don't have no what, like. But then I'm excited at the same. My stomach just growled. I'm excited at the same time for him to, come and just talk and have conversations and stuff like that. And I know whatever is trying to delay it, whatever is trying to, come against it is gone. It's not gonna affect it. We're gonna come together. We're gonna pray together. We're gonna laugh and smile. Probably shed some tears, and it's going to be soon. It's going to be very, very soon. And I said, God has me staying patient, and I know my husband wants me to stay patient. Because I would be disappeared somewhere. And that's true. That's honestly true. Like, I feel like 2024, y'all, if I show y'all that receipt in 2024, I was about to disappear. Like, I knew my husband was saying some stuff. I call it him yelling at me. And I knew, like, I wanted to escape. Like, I wanted to escape. In 2024, I wanted to escape. So I was having different things moving. Let me see. Let me try to pull up a receipt for y'all. See, the thing about me is I can always have a receipt, but then it's just like, this stuff is old. Like, I've been through a lot and stuff like that, but this stuff is old. 5/5/2025. Y'all, when I say I be ready to escape, that was supposed to be, I did this in February of last year. When I say I be ready to escape. I be ready to escape. But I knew my escape it was gonna be a situation to where it's just like, God didn't tell you to go. Like, I didn't tell you to go. It's my husband's time to. And I feel like he's like, well, I need to wait to this time. I need to wait to the perfect time. And it's really no perfect time. Like, there's really ain't no perfect time to do it. So it's just like, I I feel like he's trying to be like, well, I need to wait for this certain time and this time and all of this, and he probably like, I want to have time for her and all of this stuff and all of that. But I thank God, I put this under, like, I was thinking about this because I wrote this on the 27th. Today is I did not write this on the 27th. I wrote this on Sunday. I wrote all these details on Sunday when I should have been. I did this on Sunday, so it wasn't the 27th. It was the 26th. So, one of the things I put under, like, I was thinking, like, what am I scared of? Like, what am I scared of, or what? I feel like it ain't what I'm scared of. I feel like my husband feels like he's probably either gonna get rejected. He's just nervous and shy. But I feel like probably both of us went through, well, Lord, I wanted to do this perfect timing or this perfect timing. But I had to tell God in March, I was like, Lord, whenever my husband comes, whenever the time that he come, whenever he does it, prepare me, prepare my heart, prepare my attitude. But it's going to be the time that you tell this man to come. It's going to be the time that you tell that it's the perfect time. That is the time that he should come, and he should like I wouldn't want to do anything, and this being like a submissive wife, I wouldn't want to do anything that makes him look bad or say anything that makes him. But I'm gonna stand on Bible, and anything that's biblical, I'm standing on Bible, and that's probably my husband. And it's a thing to where it's just like dun, 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 dun. I feel like that song is always like, is today it? Is this week it? Like, I thought this nail set was it, y'all. Like, the blue, like, I'm so in love with blue to where, like, my purple is outshined with just, like, the color. Like, I thought this nail set was it. I thought this nail set was gonna be it, and I was gonna have something on my finger or something like that. Or even if my husband comes and be like, let's go on a date. Like, I'm happy with that movement. It don't have to go straight to like him putting a ring on my finger. I'm happy with him being like, hey, let's go out on a date. And then I'm like, okay, Lord, finally. Or he's been like, hey, let's go take a drive, or let's go have let's drive and talk. That type of situation. That I'm ready for. But I feel like me and my husband probably did have like vice versa. Well, Lord, I wouldn't want him to do it this time or do it that time, because like I know my husband, and I said on Instagram, I don't want to miss my husband. I don't want to, all of this, but it's impossible for me to miss that man. Anything that God promised me, it's impossible. Like, it can get delayed, it can get, sidetracked and stuff like that. But it would be very hard for him to miss me, or I miss him. Like, it'd be hard because God's timing, and I'm finna give an example. God's timing is perfect, and God's timing is perfect. My husband comes. Say my husband is coming into town. Say that he's coming through a flight. And my husband's flight get delayed like 2 or 3 times. So he missed the time that he was supposed to come and supposed to show up. That doesn't matter because my husband already knows where I'm at. My husband, like, I'm not going too far. I'm not out of the way. Like, my husband already knows where I'm at, so he can still, show up, pull up, whatever he's going to do. But it also changed. And this is why I say it's not about presentation. It's about preparation when it comes to like first dates and stuff like that. Cause say he misses, like his flight got delayed. Y'all know how flights is now. Say his flight got delayed and stuff like that, and Holy Spirit, please, and he was like. I'm thinking about my husband right now, but he was like, say his flight got delayed and he was late. All the restaurants is closed because I live in a city to where nothing is really open at 10. But there's a few little fast, fast food places and stuff like that. And then there's some places, there's some places that serve some pretty good food. If, in my opinion, there's still some places that serve some pretty good food. So that's where the reservations of, the little tablecloth or, thing gets canceled, and you have to switch it up, and you have to be like, hey, let's order some food from blah, blah, blah. Let's eat and drive. Let's talk and drive. Let's go to the park and let's sit. And parks probably won't be open during that time, but let's sit and, have a talk and get to know each other. So it's important to be able to be flexible with different things that happen, because it's just like, you don't give, like, if God gives me the green, say me and my husband would switch, I'm not like, and we're two different people. Like, I had to come out of like not talking and not being as bold as how I am now, and not, just not really saying anything much to people, to where like it's like I'm using your voice, I'm using your life to prove who I am. So I have to talk, I have to speak. We're two different people, but hey, if God give me the green light, and I feel like me and my husband though, but if God gives me the green light for my husband, to be with my husband and stuff like that, ooh, like I told y'all, like 5'5", 25, and like, look, shoot, that's a past thing. It's in the past now, but I was about to disappear. Like, I was about to disappear, because it's just like, I'm ready for new. I'm ready for, it's like this longing and this like, Lord, I am ready for what you bringing into my life. I know it's here. Like, I feel it. Like, what is it? Like, how is it coming? How, like, are you going to provide provision? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Like, how is it coming? Is my husband going to come? Or, and, am I going somewhere else? Or am I disappearing to this place? Or am I, like, am I going to get this place? Or, move here? Or get this house? Or, like, am I going to get a little Toto? Like, am I just, am I going to be, lonely? How long am I going to still be lonely? Or, and have to get like a dog, an animal, So it's just like, not Toto. But you don't know, like, what you feel it, it's coming, and it's just like, when, and you can't do anything. You can't get little Toto before time, because then if you get Toto and then my husband pop up, then I can't take Toto with me, because the house doesn't approve of me having animals. Where we about to go, I can't take the animal with me, or is, like, those are the things you have to think about when God is connecting you to somebody else. And some people be like, well, worldly thinking is, well, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna move and do this and go here and not think of him, but know he coming and all of this stuff. And when God is connecting you to someone, you move on God's time. You do not move on your time. You move on God's time. So you cannot sit here and say, well, I'm going to do this and do that and go here and not think about, well, Lord, if I get a dog and have a dog in my house and pay this, deposit and all of this for the dog monthly, and then my husband comes, and then we're moving into an apartment or a house that doesn't allow animals. Now I gotta find somewhere for the animal to stay, put the animal up for adoption, or just end up having to take the animal to the pound, which is sad. So you have to think about these things. And most people in this society is like, well, I don't want to think about this person before they come, and I don't want to have have feelings, and, actually care for this person and actually pray for this person, and this person reject me, and this person ignores me, and this person does this. And it's just like, you cannot be like that. You cannot have that mindset. You cannot be thinking of the past, because if you're thinking on the past, God is not going to move you into the future of the thing. God is not going to progress it until you let go of that anger. God is not going to progress it until you realize there is two different lives that God is bringing together, and they have to align. Two different stories, two different walks of life, two different everything. You may have some similarities. You may have some things in common. Y'all are going to do something that God is calling y'all to do, but it's similar. But right now, this person may have dealt with his own spiritual, things, and you have dealt with your own spiritual things, and they have their own generational curses that they trying to break, and you have your own generational curses that you trying to break, and God is trying to line y'all up, and this writing is up or something. But yeah, I hate talking about the old stuff with the new stuff, because that's the past and stuff like that. But I'm sure, like, my husband, is not the person that's gonna, sit in front of a camera and, have like these feelings, or like I do it on Instagram all the time. Like that March the 4th video, which was my nephew's birthday, after y'all don't know the warfare that I was going through March the 4th. When I say it hit me like a ton of bricks, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I got on camera and I was praying. I always shed tears, so, it'd be up in the air. But I was praying, and then nobody knew I was going through warfare until I say, like, I'm going through warfare. So I'm sure, like I said, like, vice versa, my strengths will help my husband, and his strengths will help me, and we will come together, and God is bringing us together so we can, play off of each other. Like, and that's why he's one of the reasons why I haven't stopped being on YouTube, or I haven't stopped being on Instagram, because I feel like certain things in me helps him, and he helps me. Right? Why am I tearing up? Gee, see, I told you I cry all the time. So me crying in that March 4th Instagram thing, where I was going through work, like, y'all, when I say it was some physical warfare, to where, like, I could barely move. And I had to pray. And I knew, like, I didn't know if my husband was going through it, or it was just me, but I had to pray. Or, because, like, he could be dealing with stuff to where it's just like, he's going through, like, different things to where he has to, stop his work, to where it's just like, this is not going right. I have to call this person, and I have to get this together. So, like, he can be going through that type of warfare while I'm going through, like, physical pain warfare. like I was, like, I could not move. And I said, I rebuke this in the name. Like, I was like, Jesus. Every time I tried to move, I was like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Because I knew that this wasn't normal. I knew that this was something that shouldn't be shouldn't be going on. So I was like, spiritual warfare, no. Devil, I rebuke the light on. Let's move on from talking about my husband. He's probably gonna come back up in the conversation. But yeah, let's move on. All right, we got some light going now. That's the best. Those light bulbs that I brought for that little over the head lamp is the best thing. But yes, let's get into the next topic, which is looking ahead. Because I ended up talking about like the past, but I feel like my past is what God has been like. Do not hide that from people because somebody else been through that. Somebody else been through that. But yeah, like I put on a good face to be on these cameras and stuff like that. Like especially years ago, like when I in that Lake City house, y'all, I put on a good face. I don't even know how I did that video. I don't know how I did that video, but I put on a good face to be, where to be where, I am now, and I just thank God that, he was like, you can't keep doing this. Like you can't, like I'm showing you evidence, like you can't keep doing this. Yeah. And that's why I'm a firm believer in telling y'all, like, hey, just because, even if you had the baby with them, even if you did this, take that person back to God and wait. Wait. I don't care if God takes 2 months. Like I was telling y'all in my dream video, he took 2 weeks just to, expose like everybody and everything, and to give me revelation that everybody had like a chunk or a piece of just how they had a chunk or a piece of just how they, didn't do what they was supposed to do as, as just people in general. Cause like me, if someone going through, and we're gonna talk about that, like, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about someone going through spiritual warfare. Cause like I told y'all, March 4th, I went to sleep. My mom called me. I was perfectly fine. And that was a weird time for her to be calling, because she never calls me at 8. She calls me around earlier, like 12, 1 and stuff like that. Probably like around this time, but she never calls me at nighttime unless it's like super late and she, just leaving my grandma's and stuff. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. But I wake up. I wake up to her calling and stuff like that, and I'm gonna let it come on. I wake up to her calling and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I ain't doing nothing, da 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 da, and stuff like that. So after, me waking up, I tell her, and I tell her I ain't doing nothing and stuff like that. She got off the phone. I go to get up, I can't get up. So spiritually, people doing stuff to you spiritually, people just in general being malice when it comes to spiritually touching you. So that, like, I just told y'all in the other part to where it was talking about, like, if you have I think somebody was like, if you have glass breaking in your house and stuff like that, that's someone sending a hex to you, or you being hexed and stuff like that. And I was telling y'all, like, the wine glass had broke and I had to clean the wine glass up, and my cup fell, and I may put like some little pictures in here. I've been editing lately, so I may put some little pictures in here and stuff like that. So the cup fell and the cup handle broke off and it fell out my cabinet. Nothing normally, nothing really falls out of that cabinet. Nothing was touching it. It shouldn't have fell out. So I'm like, okay. And I forgot. Let me try to find when I was telling y'all about the cups falling and stuff like that. It was on Instagram. Let me see. Y'all, I cannot find it. Because it's at the end. Like, I had posted during the morning. And I had just got, like, I said something else on Instagram. And I had just got off. But then I'm like, oh, look, y'all, my cup is broken. Yay. Because I was just talking about, like, how glass has been breaking and stuff like that. But, yeah, I can't find it. But I think it was around January, February. So the spiritual warfare March makes sense. But now I'm like, do I want to talk about the new stuff? I guess I do. No. Let's talk about the spiritual stuff. Yeah, let's talk about the spiritual stuff. Yeah, like if someone is going through spiritual stuff, like, and I'm talking about like people up here just making stuff up and saying about them, you know, being like this or being like that. Like, if you don't have surefire evidence, that this person is doing this person is doing that, this person is doing this, maybe you should look again, as God. Look again, because ain't no way that someone is that you know, someone is that doesn't even really say anything, doesn't really do anything, is that bad. You know what I'm saying? So you need to look again. And I remember me posting, I think I shared it with y'all, of that video where it said gossip starts. It doesn't have to start with just the devil doesn't have to, you know, get any type of, you know, I have to go back to the video. But look, it's 6:16. Give birth, y'all. Give birth. And that's so funny because I'm gonna title this 313, because 313 is to be born again. And spiritually, on 313, when I got the divorce papers stamped, and I know I went into like talking about like what I had been through with like the ex-husband, a little bit, when I was talking about like, you know, how me and my husband could be different when it comes to just like being able to, you know, go through something and still come on camera, go through something and still be present and still be in the moment. Now, I don't like I told y'all, like, I don't want my husband to be offended by anything that I say or do. And I don't know, like, I feel like because we're like, God is connecting us and stuff like that. So if one of us is feeling it, we both gonna feel it. Like, we both gonna feel it. So I, like, that's why when I'll be like, I'll be on Instagram like, husband go to sleep. But sometimes God be having him restless because, you know, of whatever he's going through. Or, you know, sometimes God could be having him restless. And I could be up and I'm like, well, why am I up, Lord? And stuff like that. So it's just like, husband, I be praying for you to be going to sleep. Like, I be praying for you to be like, please, please don't have me up at 3 or 4 o'clock and God be like, I'm like, Lord, why am I up? Like, what's going on? Why am I up? But yeah, and honestly, I seen it in my husband's face that God has been having him up and has had him, you know, just, you know, he's probably not used to it. Like, when I say 3 or 4 o'clock, no, between 3 or 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, when I say God will have you going through it, and it's just like, wake up, pray. Wake up, wake up, talk to me. Wake up, why are you sleeping? When he did, when he told the disciples the disciples supposed to be up and active, and they was sleeping, and God was like, why you sleeping? There's because God, he never sleeps, so God is always up. So it's just like he look at us like, why you sleeping? I need you to be up. I need you to be doing something. I need you to be present. So, but God will have you up. God will have you restless if you're not, and that's biblical. You're not doing what he tells you to do. So, and it's just like, Lord, all you can do is be like, Lord, I pray your will over his life. I pray that he does the right thing. And I pray that whatever you're telling him to do, you open his eyes to see, and that's the only thing you can do. I told y'all, like, especially if they're doing something that, is worldly, or if they're doing something that, is, with the counterfeit, or, with people that they shouldn't be with, or all that stuff. Like, I feel like I'm not the type of person to come into somebody's life and try to be like, hey, like, you should watch out for this person. Hey, I'm seeing something spiritually wrong with this person or something. Like, I don't like to be like that. And that's why I pray for my husband to have discernment of his own, so we can be on the same page about people, about whoever's in our life, about, just different things and different aspects. He may have more discernment in one area. I may have more discernment in the other. And I pray, I'm praying now. I pray that, we both trust each other's opinion and never try to be like, well, get angry with each other or get upset with each other because one person is seeing something that the other person is not seeing yet, or one person is seeing something that is going to come to pass to the other person, and then their eyes will be open. So I pray that he trusts my discernment, and I pray that I trust his discernment, and I already trust his discernment. Like, y'all, when he was yelling at me, like, I was like, I know, husband, I know. And I knew that when my husband started yelling at me, I was like, it's about to get worse. And that's bad to say, and I gotta watch my words. But I knew that it was gonna get worse before it, was any type of, I knew stuff was gonna happen. And I was just like, husband, I know. And it's just the way we communicate. Like, it's weird, but maybe we'll talk about that whenever we come together. But it's a weird communication thing that we got going on. But, I knew, I was like, it was like, husband, I know. Like, I know, husband. Like, but God, God hasn't given me, and, it was hard to be like, I know, but God hasn't given me the green light to do anything. Sit still and be patient. Like, sit still and be patient. That's the only thing that was the only thing that God, and it's hard for me. It honestly is. Because it's just like, Lord, I know this is going to happen, and I know this is going to happen, and I know you're going to be able to do this for me and do that for me, but I'm sitting still. You're telling me to wait. You're telling me to be patient. But yeah, so spiritual warfare, the spiritual side of things, back to the spiritual side, I wouldn't do anything. And that's why I said, this is just an add-on. This is extra. I didn't, like, if someone was going through something spiritually, I'll mind my business. Long as that person, whatever that person is supposed to be doing, if that in my life, if that means that person is being a friend, if that means that person is being like working, or like if that person is, supposed to be connected to me in any kind of way, shape, or form, business wise, if that person is going through something spiritually, guess what? I'm gonna mind my business. And honestly, I'm gonna be real enough to tell and talk to the person. I'm gonna be like, what you going through? Like, I feel like I'm gonna have enough discernment, enough, and it doesn't take a lot of discernment to see that right for wrong. You learn right from wrong. Don't touch nothing hot. Don't go in the street. Don't go this way. Don't treat people that keep hands, feet, books, and other objects to you. Like, this is stuff we learn in kindergarten. Right from wrong. How to treat people. So if I'm treating somebody bad because they're going through something or something is happening and they don't know how it's happening. And you don't know how it's happening. You're trying to figure it out and do investigations instead of being like, hey, leave that alone. Let's mind our business and let's treat this person with kindness. Let's treat this person like we got some sense. Let's treat this person like we went to kindergarten and learned, hey, you don't treat people this way. You be kind. You be nice. You don't bully. You don't do this. I think that's my tangent on spiritual. Like, people going through spiritual warfare. Because you can be kind. That's just like seeing a homeless person and you up there kicking on them. For what? Mind your business. Give them some change. Give them some clothes. Give them some food. And I'm talking about real homeless people. And you angry for what? You mad for what? I've been going in these last couple days. But you mad for what? What you mad at the homeless person for? And it's just like, and I never heard, like, my spiritual thing that I went through was hard. It was heavy. Shed a lot of tears, was going through a lot, but at the same time, I still pushed through, and God was still with me. And, I thank God, and I thank, I just, grateful for him to be able to walk with me as I was going through that process in my life. Because it's wrong to spiritually, and you can end up in court. It's wrong to spiritually touch some spells, curses, hexes, all of these things. It's wrong to spiritually touch somebody. And not only is the person that's going to, like, the tarot readers, the person that's going to, being like, oh, what this person got going on in their life, or, I want to put a love spell on them, separation spell, or, graveyard rituals and all these different things. You just as wrong as the witch that you went to. You're going to get the same judgment that the witch that you went to, or warlock that you went to put the spell, ritual, curse, hex, or whatever on. You're going to get the same judgment. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. I'm telling y'all, it's sad. Because all you had to do is walk away. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. Walk away. But people feel like the entitlement. People feel entitled to some type of control, some type of access, some type of, I need to know what this person is doing. So I'm going to illegally, spiritually mess with them to figure out what they're doing and try to stop them and try to move like they God. And they're not. My lips getting dry, husband. Don't look at it. But, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. The last one. I had to add that one in there The 313. Yeah. Born again. So I won't judge someone who's going through something spiritually. That person is down. And no matter what they did, or, you know, it doesn't, you don't do nothing to nobody spiritually to try to control or have access to their life. That's not right. That's not right at all. And I seen something to where someone was saying like some of your exes ended up messing your husband or something. Ooh, Jesus. I was like, ain't no way. And I think that's why I'm protective of my husband. But ain't no way. Ain't no way my ex done sat there and tried to have some access or have some control and sit there and message my husband before, before my husband done came or showed up, or and we ain't got the strong foundation. Come on now. I'm finna take my hair down, y'all. But yeah, so ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's all. Ain't no way. The nerve of people to try to have some type of control or access and sit there and message somebody's you done went to someone spiritually to try to see and stuff like that, and try to sit there and message somebody's future stuff. I was like, ooh, I was like, Lord, let's be honest, because anybody who will sit there and message me from my husband's side, I'll be like, you know what? I'm like, I'll take it to God. Anything that they'll try, I wouldn't even hold a conversation, because I don't hold like, there's a whole bunch of friend requests, and there's a whole bunch of probably, I don't hold conversations with people. So, like I said, I would be like, that's something I'll have to take back to God. And guess what? I'm gonna wait till God answer. I'm gonna wait till God give me, I'm gonna wait till God be like, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. That ain't true. Ain't no way. I said, ain't no way. But I can understand people still wanting control and still wanting access to people. I understand that. That's sad. They should move on, but I understand that. Why? I don't know. Because most of the time, you played your part, you played the role, and you have to look at yourself and be like, oh yeah, I messed up. Or this happened and it didn't work out. And move on. But let's get into the last thing, y'all. Because I had to edit all this stuff. Okay. Let's get into looking ahead. Looking forward, and what I can't wait for the new, and that's why I was trying to disappear, because I cannot wait for new sceneries, new sights, new things, new people, like who I'm surrounded by now. Like, I feel like people are just malicious, people are rude, and people are not kind-hearted. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, there's very little kind-hearted people that I see most of the time. I see very few of that. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to the new journeys. I'm looking forward to the new people, but I'm still got my boxing gloves on because I know when my husband come, it ain't gonna be like, it's gonna be peaches and cream. It's gonna be some peaches and cream, but it's not always gonna be rainbows. It's not always gonna be sunny, and we gonna have to, war for each other and fight for each other and stand by each other and be aligned and on that same page. So yeah, but I look forward to new people. I look forward to creating strong friendships, godly friendships, people who are standing on Bible, or people who just want to know more about God and want to finally come into the end of their journeys, because I'm just coming into the end of my journey and figuring out, like, okay, God doesn't want me to do this, and I have a weakness in this and stuff like that. So I'm not ahead or above, or or holier than thou than anybody. Like, I just got it together. So anyone who wants to do better and wants to put in the work and wants to have that strong biblical foundation and stay biblical, and maybe they can help me, because there's different areas to where, like, I'm dealing with, to where I want to be better at, just because I know, like, the future generations, I don't want them to think like this is okay and this is cool and you can do this and you can do that, and it's just like, no, you can't. So yeah. So new people, new journeys, that's checked off. And yeah, God standing people, I talked about that. So godly standing, like standing for God. So yeah. I want a stronger relationship with God. I do feel like I want to grow more. I do feel like, and that's probably gonna take me just like, I don't want to get out of Ezekiel. I'm still in Ezekiel, and it's been a few months, but I love my Bible stories, y'all, and like, I'm learning so much from Ezekiel. But I just read like a random, I randomize my Bible all the time, like with the chapters. And I just read 1 Samuel 3, where Eli was like, Samuel, what did God say about me? And and Samuel was like, I don't know if I should tell him and stuff like that. And Eli was like, don't you lie to me, or God should strike you down, which would be true, because Samuel was a prophet. And if God is telling you to say something, you got to say it. So he told Eli, like, because of your son's sins and all of this, and you not doing anything about it, this is going to be on your bloodline, and or this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and it's going to be there forever. And then Eli was like, whatever God says. Whatever God says. And I'm like, Eli was a man. Like, Eli was that man. He was that man. Because, like, the fact that you accept what God has said, even though it's bad, even though, like, and it's not bad in the sense of, there can't be repentance, there can't be good things still done, but there's going to be there's going to be some trials, there's going to be some ups and downs that you and your family and your bloodline have to go through because of the sin that was committed. And he was like, I accept it. And it's just like, oh, like, Eli, like, you was that man. You was that man. Like, I love my Bible story. So I'm kind of like, after Ezekiel, like, I was supposed to go to Proverbs, but I kind of want to go to Samuel. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I want a stronger relationship with God. I don't know where he will elevate me to next, but I know I still feel like I need some refinement before I'm saying, thus said the Lord, or being like, y'all, like, God is telling you, or, telling somebody like, hey, God said, hey, God said this, God said that. But I I still feel like I need some refinement. I still feel like I need some pruning. And I feel like that's never going to change. You always going to need some refinement. You always can be cleaner than clean. And God still continuously cleaning you up and stuff like that. Because, you know, it could be a grain of salt, grain of sand that you know, just from like us being in the world that you can get and stuff like that. You're not going to do it perfect every time. So yeah, it's interesting. I look forward to a lot of different things. It's something that I always thought about. It's something that I always thought about wanting to do with wanting to do. And, you know, I pray that it comes to pass. I pray that, you know, God, you know, accelerates me being able to do that and able to be in that category. And honestly, I feel like God has had me do baby steps towards that in the background. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. I put on here long talks with my I put on here long talks with my husband so I can give Jesus a break. Jesus is a friend of mine, y'all. Like, Jesus is a friend. Like, even when I'm snitching on my husband, Jesus is a friend of mine, because it's just like I tell Jesus everything. I tell Jesus everything. So yeah, my husband needs to come in and like take up some of that slack. Like, help Jesus out. Like, honestly, I've been pretty good. Like, now most of the time I speak in tongues, and I try to keep it in tongues, because you can be cursing yourself with the words, the English language. So I speak in my heavenly tongue and stuff like that, and I try to do that and everything like that. So, you know, you know, um, but yeah, I look forward to long talks with my husband and just laughing and, you know, getting to be around him and all of these different things, and just being able to see who God has, you know, wanted for me since, like they say, formed in your womb, formed in your mama's womb. So, and then it's like bone of, as Adam said, bone of my bone. So it's it I can't wait to see him in like real form, like him in just present day and stuff like that. Cause, you know, I got, you know, time to be with him, but, you know, I'm waiting. I can't wait for that first moment. I can't wait for that. So, and then I was like loving on my husband and starting fresh. And this is kind of going into actually born again. This is kind of going into like, you know, I'm not sure how God is going to do it. I know I'm gonna be a submissive wife when it comes to that man, because I trust his judgment. If God trusts me with you, and I finally got to approve of somebody, if I finally got God to approve of somebody, if God trusts me with you, I trust your opinion and I trust your decision making. So yeah. 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 So we ain't gonna go too much into that. But yeah, I trust your opinion, I trust your decision making. So whatever God has told you and whatever God has told me, it's gonna align when my husband come. But it's also starting something new, starting something fresh, starting something, you know, and no matter if it comes today, a month from now, 2 months from now, whatever, you know, whenever God is pointed time to finally give me the green light. I feel like my husband already has the green light, but it's whenever God finally gives me the green light, then I would know and we will align and everything will come together. So we can mark that off. We can mark that off because I gotta buy groceries, y'all. It's already 6 o'clock, and find me something to eat. And I'm also ready for. I'm gonna start taking these pins out my head. I'm also ready for travel. Like I'm ready for travel, and I was thinking about doing the passport and stuff like that. The passport asks too much information. I said, why does my ex have to be on my information? So I said, you know what? I'm away from my husband and I can still travel. I ain't really trying to get on a plane anyway, because most of the time they make you jump through hoops getting on a plane anyway. So I'm like, I ain't trying to get on a plane anyway, but I do want to do some traveling, no matter if it's from car, bus, train, wherever wherever, and I can, I'll have to be diligent in having extra like information and all this stuff because I don't have a passport, but I can still travel. And that's the best part for me. I've been talking about going on a vacation for probably over a year now, so I really want to travel. I really want to see something else, do something else, just make memories and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll be making it with my husband or I'll be going by myself. Either way, it's gonna be me and God. And either way, if my husband is with me, it's gonna be me, him, and God. So either way, I'm gonna be good. So, but I do want to do some traveling and stuff like that. So at first I was like, I can get my passport and stuff like that, and I can, be able to do this, do that. And, then I was like, I had to put my ex information on here. I was like, I had to put my ex information on here, and I was like, I'll wait for my husband. You know what? Because my husband probably be filling out that information. Well, I'll fill it out because it may be a little bit difficult, but I'll fill it out. But look, I filled it out 3 times wrong. The wrong way. And then by the 3rd time, it was still wrong. And I was like, Lord, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna wait for my husband to come so he can be the only man named that is connected to me other than Jesus. Other than Jesus that's connected to me now. Like, I'm married to God right now. So I was like, I'll wait for my husband so he can be the only name connected to me. Like, what I look like doing paperwork and having to... What is your current relationship, your ex relationship? If it's an ex relationship, it shouldn't matter. Like, if it's an ex relationship, it shouldn't matter. So, and that's my fault because I should have waited on God to give His yay or nay, and I should have had more discernment back then. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's totally my fault. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for my husband. I'll take a Greyhound or pay extra money to rent a car just so I can just visit places. Even if I'm just going around the state that I'm in and stuff like that, even if I'm just going around that, like, yeah, I already talked about that in the beginning of the video, but that's it. That's all, y'all. But yeah, I look forward to traveling and stuff like that, but I'm waiting for my husband to, and I'm gonna pray about this passport. But I'm waiting for my husband to come and stuff like that before I even attempt to. Yeah, I refuse to be putting some other man's name in my paperwork. It just felt wrong, and I was just like, you know what, Lord, I'll wait on my husband. If it takes me a little more time and a little more effort to get to where I need to go with, just seeing new sights and seeing new things, I'm okay with that. I had to say I'm okay with that because I was like, I'm not about to. I don't feel comfortable putting another man's name on my stuff when I'm married to Jesus, but know that my husband is coming, and that's just me respecting my husband that much. Yeah, that's where I'm at, husband. Like that, but that's how I am in and that's why I have to be careful with who connects to me, because that's where, like, that's stuff I think about when it comes to a relationship. And sometimes you connect to people that shouldn't get that type of treatment. You connect to people who shouldn't get that treatment. They shouldn't have that much of you. They shouldn't have those type of thoughts and stuff like that. But when God approves of somebody, when God places somebody in your appearance, in your notice, in your bubble, and you're not asking him to necessarily, but you knew that that's something that's on God's heart for you to have, you accept it, and you think of those things. You think of those type of, like, well, I don't know. Like, it felt disrespectful. Even though I knew it wasn't disrespectful, like, it'll be way easier for me to travel. But I'm like, it felt disrespectful. And I was just like, I can't. I was like, I'll wait for my husband. So that's just me. That's just. And most people will like, get your passport. But then I'm just like, you know what? If it takes extra time for me to get somewhere, it takes extra time. God will provide the provisions so I can have these bills paid and everything that I need and go on my trip. No matter if it's 2 or 3 days I get to be there, or I will make the most of them 2 or 3 days. If it takes me, if I get a week off and it takes me 3 days to get to the place instead of like 2. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to make memories those 3 days and those 2 days also. And, that's just it. That's just it. That's just all. But, like, I was so protective to where it was just like, I wouldn't want to leave a return address. I wouldn't want to leave a return address. I don't want you to know where I'm going. Like, I don't want you to know what my next move is. I don't want you to know where I'm at. I don't want you to. That's why I was about to disappear. Nobody was going to know where I was going to be. Nobody. My husband would have had to go to God and be like, hey, like, Lord, she was in this spot. You placed her there, and she done moved. She done been disobedient and left. Like, why she not where I normally see her? Why she not? I was about to be disobedient. And the train going by even hard. I was about to be disobedient. But then I'm like, Lord, you already know. God will let you know when it's time for you to go. And he will let things happen smoothly. Just like me moving here, he will let things happen smoothly. So, and that's why I'm like, okay, whoever comes first, no matter if God give me the green light, no matter if my husband comes, and then it's like, God, what's next? God, are we dating? Are we courting? Are we, is he putting a ring on my finger? Like, what we doing? Where we at? Like, what we got? But, yeah, y'all, that, that's the end of the video. That's how I feel now. Even though and then it's just like, you know, why, and then for years, and that's the crazy part of messing with someone spiritually, because they can go through something for years, different things for years, and you like, oh, I didn't mean for her to go through this, I didn't mean for her to go through that, I didn't mean for him to go through this or go through that, and I didn't want him to lose his job, and I didn't want him to. And it's just like, but you mess with demons. You went to someone who's connected to demons to mess with this person, and now it's, oh, I didn't mean for this to happen, or I didn't mean for that to happen, and I didn't want them to go through this, or I just wanted, access in or control in their life, and I wanted this to happen for them and not that to happen for them, and all of this. And it's just like, now you got to go through judgment too, because if you come into agreement with a witch or a warlock, and I'm not just saying like not knowing who they are, but if you come into agreement with a witch or a warlock and you're messing with someone, that makes you a witch or a warlock too. You can't mess with people's lives and be like, oh, well, I'm just a person that was trying to control or have access. No, you became what they are, because you didn't want to let stuff go or stop having control. It's sad. Because then it's like, where your soul going? Who has access to your soul now? And there is time to repent, but how many warnings did God give you? How many warnings did God give? Especially for someone who, like, I was going through stuff for years. 4 years. It's crazy. But God used it to show people's hearts, show people how people act when somebody's different, or somebody's going through something, or somebody doesn't appear to be the same as them. And then they listen to the other people being like, well, just taking advantage of it, being like, well, this person is this way and this person is that way and that person, and then they sitting there being like, oh yeah, that person is this way, that person is that way. So when you come into agreement with that person, and then now that you see like, oh well, this person is wrong about this person, you want to sit there and try to be like, well, I didn't do anything, I didn't say anything, or and it's just like, I should trust you? I should trust you? Are you serious? Like, I should trust you after you sat there and let people say stuff and let people do things without no anything. No, don't do that, don't say that, no nothing. I just talked about this guy who comes in every time just to aggravate me. I don't know if it's because I'm black, or if he sees the spirit of God on me and he's a warlock or something, or got demons behind him. But he comes in every time and he picks with me. And and I was telling Instagram about his girl. The last time he came in and I was there, his girl was like, stop, don't do that. Like, I was just trying to take the order. And she was like, stop, don't do that. Don't do that to, at least she say stop. But she was still laughing, like be nice. But she was still laughing at it. And it's just like, what he doing to you behind closed doors? Because The way he's acting is not normal. He's coming in and picking and nitpicking and asking stupid questions just to get me aggravated. And it's like, I don't know what he's doing to you behind closed doors or what you done came into agreement with dating him. But, you know, at least she did say stop, or, you know, but she was laughing at the same time. That's not, you know, that's not protection. You letting someone talk and letting someone be disrespectful or be rude or have a nasty attitude is not protection. So, of course, I'm going to distance myself. Of course, I'm not going to trust you. Of course, I'm not going to sit there and be like, yay, like you were innocent. And they're like, no, you wasn't. You saw stuff that was happening and you didn't put a stop to it. You just talked about it. And that's sad too. But let me go. Let me try to edit this video. I need to order my groceries. Let me see if I got some pasta up in the thing. We finished it. So, but yeah. I don't know, y'all. Like, if y'all want that testimony about how, I won't talk about like the super spiritual stuff. I kind of hinted at it, but I won't talk about the super spiritual stuff that, you know, I know that was going on. And, well, I knew that happened, but I didn't know that it was something else that happened after the fact and all of that, because once, it's a long story. Like, I won't talk about the spiritual stuff right now because I know that person is in judgment for what they did and stuff like that. It's sad because it's just like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just left it alone. That's, like I said, that's like kicking the homeless person. Or, you know, doing something to a person that really did nothing to you. But let me go. I need to find me something to eat. I don't really got no groceries up in here, so I don't know what I'm about to eat. But I'm finna get back on some Sims gameplay and watch. And just enjoy the rest of my Monday. Because normally I don't film on Mondays. I film on Tuesdays. Mondays are my lay in bed days. So I'm about to take this shirt back off and all of that and lay my butt back down. But I love you guys. Husband, husband, I know God gave you the green light. I know you. No, I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to have a conversation. Can't wait to be in your presence and see the man that God has showed me so much about and told me about a little bit. So I can't wait to, why am I tearing up? I don't know. But I can't wait. Every time. That's why I don't talk about my husband. every time. So I can't really talk about, like, you know, just like, I don't know. But yeah, I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to be in your presence. Can't wait to see how you are and just other personality traits of the person that God has already shown me. Basically, I can't wait to see other personality traits of the man that God has already shown me, already told me you are. Because you're going to like, if you see a lot of change in me and stuff like that, you're going to see some things in yourself to where either it's going to come back around or it's just new insight from God of just growth, of just like maturing and all this other stuff. But yeah, I love you too, and I'm about to get up off of here. I gotta take off these nails because I thought the ring was coming. I thought the ring was coming, y'all. These wasn't like I thought this was a set. Now I gotta find me another. Maybe, just maybe this man gonna come and put a ring on it. I thought this was a set, and and somehow I'm like maybe just maybe my ring is blue, so the nails can match because like I like blue, so I like my color is between blue and green. So I'm more of a like a teal aqua girly, but I like blue, so I'm like maybe my ring is blue because God is really like I haven't given no love to purple at all, and that's the color for this year. I already know what color I have for next year, so hopefully I give more love to the color next year than I've been giving to purple because I don't have no nails with purple on them. Other than the ones that I have for my birthday and stuff, I have no colors. But I love. I'm gonna have to change these nails out. I'm gonna do a video. A time lapse, husband. How many sets I'm gonna go through before you get here? But no pressure though, cause I don't want you to come if you ain't hot and ready. I've been telling God that, like, Lord, if he ain't hot and ready, and you ain't saying that he hot and ready yet, I don't want him to come. But if you hot and ready and you are doing what God is like telling you to do and ready and all of this other stuff, like I'm ready. Cause I gotta get in line with what God is doing. Yeah. That was going somewhere. But I have to get in line with what God is doing. And I feel like you have to get in line with what God is doing. And if I'm ready and you ready, that means we're in alignment. But yeah, I love you.